Davis saying that the video is about an hour long, has 4 different parts to it, some much more difficult to watch than others, but it starts from the beginning and goes on from there. I think something else that Chief Davis said that I think troubles her and probably troubles all of us is that there remains no explanation why officers were so fired up from the very beginning, and she has yet to see any evidence, she says, that Tyre Nichols was driving recklessly even, as officers claimed was happening. So we have Van Turner joining us now from the NAACP, Memphis chapter. I think that is something we can all share, right? Is right. This lack of an explanation for what on earth those officers were thinking.
Yeah, I mean, and when you look at this, you have a Fourth Amendment right which is guaranteed to all citizens by the Constitution. That's the right to privacy. And so what you see is that the very stop which took place was a violation of the Fourth Amendment, and everything that happened thereafter was just criminal. And so you ask why kidnapping? Well, if the stop was not legitimate, if the privacy rights of Mr. Nichols were being violated to begin with, then you know, it wasn't appropriate to detain him. Certainly it was not appropriate to use excessive force, and obviously it was not appropriate to murder him. And so what we have is something that's spun out of control. Those who knew better did not act and did not intervene, which is another issue. And those who could have and should have rendered aid did not do so in a timely fashion.
Now, I know that you were at the presser this morning with the family and attorney Ben Crump, and then they also addressed that they accepted that second-degree murder charge over, even though they wanted that first degree. Yeah. You know, obviously you've spoken with the family. Can you tell us a little more on their reaction on that? Yeah,
I mean, they were not for anything less than murder one to begin with, but once General Mulroy explained to them that he has to put a charge forth that he can prosecute successfully, I think they understood it. And they had to understand that murder one is intent. It's you going into a situation with the idea and the intent that you would murder, and the facts are not there to you know, put that forth as a prosecution. And so what they decided upon was murder two, and that's something that the general feels that he can successfully prosecute beyond a reasonable doubt when it comes to the case being tried in court.
Ben Crump also said that the way Memphis has handled this, he described it as a blueprint for which other departments he hopes will follow. I just wonder if you agree with that. I mean, not only you're a former elected official as a county commissioner, but you're running for mayor too. And as you look at how Chief Davis and everyone involved has handled this, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's excellent, really. I mean, if you look at George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, what were the pressure points that really ticked people off and got them in the streets and had them protesting? And all 3 of those pressure points have been, I think, successfully addressed in this instance. Termination, no suspension with pay, no union coming out saying, hey, give these guys a chance, we don't know all the facts. They were immediately terminated when termination could take place. 2, indictment. We're not 6 months down the road. We're a week or so down the road, and you have indictment for murder 2, not manslaughter, not something that's you know, a low offense. This is murder 2. And point 3, the transparency. The tape is coming out. The demand was heard, and there's been no excuse. The tape is coming out. We know it's brutal, but that type of transparency, I think, really builds trust among the community. And that's why hopefully you see what's happening, and hopefully it will you know, lead to not having violent protests.
What are you hearing out there? I mean, do you think we'll have a peaceful night tonight? I know that there's a lot of concern about that. Do you think the businesses that are shutting down is an overreaction perhaps, or do you think it's just out of abundance of caution?
Yeah. Well, obviously when you've seen what happened in other cities, the clearest example and the most recent example is Atlanta. It's not necessarily the people here, but there are outside agitators who come in, and it's more about what they want and not about justice for Tyre or what we're trying to do. And they come in and use this as a way to put forth what they want. And so that is a danger, and I think that's why law enforcement is on high alert and businesses are being cautious. And so we'll see what happens, but hopefully the outsiders will stay out if they want to do harm to our community, and if they come in, they will do what the citizens here are doing, and we think that they will peacefully protest.
All right, that's all of our hope, I'm sure.
And the family would like that as well. They've been saying that and reiterating that for the whole week.
Right. That's correct.
Thank you so much for being with us, Van Turner. We really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.